start really by saying welcome to the club. This might be the first time some of our supporters have heard from you. How have the first few months been down here in Cornwall?
Yeah, great. Look, everyone's been incredibly welcoming, especially players, staff, management. Made it really seamless transition to come in. Got into a real body of work in the last couple of weeks, so no better way to kind of get settled in than get stuck into the work, I guess.
And obviously your background is, of course, in Ireland, as we can clearly hear as you speak. How have you found this environment compared to where you've come from?
Yeah, great. Look, the setting's unbelievable. Especially when the weather's nice here, we got a hell of a setting to train in. But look, particularly, it's just the investment that all the guys are putting in, the environment that everyone's creating just through their behaviour and the commitment they've had to train has been great. All the work that the other coaches are putting in, it's a phenomenal amount of hours that are going in. So I think we're definitely doing everything we can to create something successful. So I've just massively enjoyed the way the environment's been taking shape over the last 7 or 8 weeks, really.
You spoke about the other coaches there. Obviously, you're new to the setup. How have you settled in with Gavin Paves in terms of where the team will see your influence, and I guess where and how you want that to look?
Yeah, they're great men. They put in a hell of a lot of work. Each of them really putting in everything they can to put us in the best shape to perform. Each of their own style as well, which is great. So I'm enjoying sort of seeing each of them coach and trying to put myself on one end of the scale or the other, depending on the situation. But look, they've been really facilitating in bringing me into the plan, and we've had lots of good conversations all the way back to sort of February and March when we first discussed it, about what my involvement would be and how that would relate to the way we play the game. So we've had a lot of great conversations over the last 4 or 5 months around what that looks like, the involvement that I've had in it, and they've just been brilliant in giving me an involvement. So obviously looking after the line out in the D and giving me a lot of pitch time, a lot of one-to-one time, meeting time with the players, and then obviously facilitating, just getting out there and doing it. We've had some great opportunity to review the last couple of games, see where we can make improvements, especially going into the couple of weeks ahead, but particularly around reviewing what we've been doing. The guys have been great in obviously being encouraging of the things that we've done well, and then putting some really good challenge in to make sure I'm thinking about how we can keep improving, keep getting better, and be in the best shape we can be in for Nottingham.
Back to those Irish roots briefly, a strong connection to the club. Obviously now a couple of new boys, James French, Hashim Michelle, joining the likes of Bruce Houston already at the club, Sam Kao, a new analyst as well. Does that make it a bit easier for you, or is it no clicks or anything like that?
Yeah, a couple of familiar accents, I would say. Yeah, no, it's definitely changed. Kind of, you come into the office in the morning and you hear a couple of Irish accents around, so hasn't exactly been a massive move away. But look, they're great guys in their own right. I think Sam's working incredibly hard in the analysis department, and obviously Bruce was already here, which was actually really interesting to speak to him when I came over the first couple of times before I started, just to talk to him about his transition from Irish rugby to here and how he'd found it. And then obviously I had our 2 Irish front rowers are flying through. I think I've been really impressed by them. They've worked incredibly hard. They're living together, so probably sitting at home talking about scrums every night. But yeah, they've worked incredibly hard and they're applying themselves. I think no better man than Paves to get them into to some fighting shape for the champ and hopefully beyond for both of them. So yeah, it's been great to have, I guess, what, as Gavin said, has transitioned from a Welsh connection to a bit of an Irish connection this year. But it's nice to be able to chat about a few things from home with a few of the boys here. You don't feel too far away at times.
Onto this weekend then, just before we come on to this weekend's fixture, just your thoughts briefly on how we fared against a strong Exeter Chiefs side just a fortnight ago.
Yeah, look, it was a massive test, and we knew it was going to be a massive test going into it. So I think on reflection, we prepared really well. I don't think there's a hell of a lot we could have done differently. We knew what our strengths were going to be. We knew where we were going to have to be incredibly sharp. And look, on reflection, I think what we're most happy with is we had a couple of really good outcomes, particularly around the D and the line out. We know really clearly what the issues are and what we need to shore up. So if anything, it gave us a really clear idea of where we need to spend time and invest our time and our resource in. From a forward perspective, I think we certainly went toe-to-toe for pretty much all of the game. We created some really good opportunities. We didn't quite finish all of them. And I think from a defence perspective, we did create some opportunities off the back of our defence, which was a goal of ours going in. You look at our line out and our maul, we created opportunities to keep it there and keep it to the maul, keep it at the front, and we did do that and got a few outcomes out of it. But look, the most pleasing thing I think was when you look back at the character throughout was immense, and especially when we made a couple of changes and a couple of difficult positional changes. There was some really good leadership on the pitch. I was really, I guess, pleasantly surprised by how many decisions were made without us having to intervene. It just showed the character of the boys to be able to adapt. So we've taken a lot of learnings from it, and then, as you say, moving into this weekend, it's how can we bring these into this weekend, get the last bit of learning out of that, and then bring all of that forward from the 3 pre-season fixtures into competition.
I guess you kind of touched on it a little bit there. Obviously, Carmarthen Quins are opposition this week. Bit of a different challenge, slightly unknown, I guess, a little bit, but still a difficult task, as it always is in Wales with any fixture. What can we expect from them, and what do you want to see from us?
Yeah, look, I guess from our side first, there's a lot of good opportunities in this for us. I think firstly is to get used to the away schedule. So for a lot of the boys, including myself, be the first away game. So getting used to that travel schedule, staying over, getting into the right frame of mind in the morning of the game. We're obviously up and down the same day for Chiefs, so it'll be a different situation. Look, for them, obviously for their 150th anniversary, it's a real privilege for us to be involved in that. So we're expecting, a big, passionate team that will bring some physicality and test us, especially around the forwards. So again, if we can generate some outcomes that are demonstrating our learnings, I think we'd be really happy with that. Again, look, we haven't seen them play, so we're not really sure what to expect. But we know they're going to be, well backed, big crowd out to support, and they're going to be confident that they can come in and give us a run. So we really just want to put our best foot forward. Guys who are going out to start know it's probably it's their last opportunity in a starting jersey before we go into competitive phase, so they know what's at stake. So look, we've prepped well today and yesterday. We'll get one more day to get a run at it, but I think if we can continue sort of in the framework that we've been going with this week, I think we can turn up in real good nick to give it a go on Saturday.
And just finally, obviously now only a couple of weeks away from that Nottingham fixture, everything I suppose has got to have the focus with that fixture in the back of the mind, surely.
Yeah, and we speak about it a lot, whether we're chasing outcomes in these games or we're chasing improvements for the first game of the champ. And really, all this is leading up to games for points. So it's our first block that we've been in now. Phase 3 is our first block with competitive games for points in it. So everything we're looking at really is obviously trying to do our best to win those games and get outcomes. But it's all leading towards how can we generate the best possible performance. The 2 games this month against Nottingham and Ealing, and obviously one of them quite a long away trip, and the second one against last year's winner. So we know what we've got ahead of us. So really, look, we think we're in good shape. We've got a bit more fine tuning to do, but I think if we can put in the performance that we think we can on the weekend, review it, bring those learnings into next week, I think we're in good shape to put in a very solid performance up in Nottingham.